Well, lockdowns and restrictions during the pandemic led to unprecedented improvements in air quality and a drop in pollution last year. But the UN's weather agency says the changes were only temporary. According to the World Meteorological Organization's latest Air Quality and Climate Bulletin, the level of harmful airborne particles largely emitted by motor vehicle traffic and energy production fell by 40% in Southeast Asia. China, Europe and North America also saw a drop in emissions. But even as man-made pollution fell, extreme weather events caused by global heating increased. Ongoing wildfires in several countries, as well as the so-called Godzilla sandstorm in the Sahara, have significantly worsened air quality in the affected regions. And the report also noted that global mortality linked to air pollution has doubled in the last 30 years to 4.5 million in 2019, with the biggest rise in South and East Asia. Well, let's get more on this now with Oksana Tarasova in Geneva. She's head of Atmospheric Environment Research Division at the World Meteorological Organization. Welcome to the program. Thank you so much for joining us. Firstly, this is a first for the WMO, an Air Quality and Climate Bulletin. Can you tell us more about why you decided to publish such a report and study?
Thank you very much. Indeed, it's the first bulletin which we produce. We've been producing the earlier bulletins which were talking separately about the impacts of aerosols and impacts of reactive gases. And this year we decided that talking about these two phenomena is a little bit inconsistent, and we wanted to bring the consistency to look at phenomena from both sides. So we produce this bulletin to combine both the impacts of particles, which are the pollutants, and the impacts of the traditional pollutants, which we call reactive gases, to give a comprehensive picture.
Yes, and it really would come as no surprise that 2020 saw a huge improvement in air quality as industries around the world basically came to a standstill as almost every country in the world imposed lockdown measures. Can you tell us more about the effect that had on the air quality during 2020?
We're seeing that those temporary lockdown measures had a substantial impact on the air quality in a number of countries. But we also noticed that these impacts were rather different. And the improvement in air quality is largely impacted by the reduced mobility. So it's basically coming from the traffic. So the parts of the world where you had a lot of emissions, which were related to the traffic, and the low quality of the fuel which is used in traffic had much more reduction in the level of pollution. Even if you look at the different parts in Europe or in Asia, the differences are also, if we say about the range, are 40 to 60% in Asia and Latin America. This percentage is smaller in Europe just because we have a long term measures in Europe, for example, which are implemented from the Clean Air Directive, CAFE Directive in Europe, and also through the Convention on Long-Range Transboundary Air Pollution. So basically, we've seen the improvement, the substantial improvement only in the parts where there was quite a big problem without such lockdown measures.
As you say, the improvement in air quality is basically temporary as economies begin to reopen towards the end of last year and certainly this year. But there is a global push for more electric vehicles to replace those powered by petrol, diesel and other fossil fuels. Do you expect that as more of the world adopts EVs, will that significantly improve their air quality into the future?
I think that using electric vehicles can improve the air quality in the future if we use the renewable energy as a source of energy. Because if we continue using the fossil fuel for energy production, which is actually a large part of the emissions, we would not achieve what we wanted to achieve. So basically, we will just move the emissions from the smaller sources, which is the transport, to the bigger sources. So if our electric vehicles are driven by the renewable energy, that would give really huge benefits both to air quality and climate as well.
Okay, Oksana Tarasova from the World Meteorological Organization. We'll have to leave it there, but thank you so much again for joining us on Money Talks.